Hi, welcome to Glow's Kinder Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Well, today I wanted to share a recipe with you that is just absolutely delicious. And the way I'm doing this took this recipe up 10 levels, wouldn't you say, Richard?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I, as a kid, always enjoyed pancakes, but I can't say they were my favorite. And I can't speak for Richard on that, but I always did make pancakes for our family through the years. That's just part of being a mom. You make stuff that you're not super crazy over, but you'll eat. But I gotta tell you, when I made these pancakes, I want them almost every day. They're that good. So I wanted to share this with you today, and I've already combined some of the ingredients so it won't take so long to make for you guys. But what brought this recipe up to a whole new level is my fresh milled flour. And in this recipe, I am using the soft winter wheat, and this is what the grain looks like. And I went ahead and I milled my flour, and this recipe calls for 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And this soft winter wheat is like an all-purpose flour. So, and also in here I have 2½ teaspoons of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and let's see what else I wrote down here. Oh, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. And what you do, and I'm just using the recipe that I have used over the years, which I thought was a good recipe. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just sift this. And by sifting it, it makes your flour and all your ingredients well combined, and it actually kind of lightens it. Gets the lumps out if you have any. And that's all I have left in there.
Not much.
No, not at all. And actually, I think probably what I have in here, let me look here. Yeah, it's sugar. Because I used the cane sugar that's kind of like a brownish color. Let me show you what it looks like.
Yeah, we use for tea and coffee.
Yeah.
Well, not coffee, tea.
It's just like that. So that goes to show you how really this mill grinds the wheat. I mean, it really takes it down, and there's a dial on it so you can make it even. I put it in between pastry and bread, but if you're doing a fine pastry, you would take it all the way over. So the next step, I'm just going to put this away, get that out of the way, clean up my mess here, is you combine your wet ingredients. So I have 1 1/4 cups of whole milk. So I'm just going to pour that in here. I have 1 large egg that I slightly beaten. I'm just going to add that in. Let me get my little spatula here. Get all that out. And the other thing is 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I have canola oil in here today. But at times I do add butter, but today I'm not. I think I want these pancakes to just be the star without the butter. They're that good.
Yeah, they're good plain.
Yeah, they really are. And the nice thing about fresh milled flour I have found is it sticks to you, so you don't get hungry right away after you've eaten. Now this is just a hand beater. I find I like to use it for stuff like this. Now one thing with fresh milled flour that I have found is that you need to let the flour hydrate. So this is really a very simple recipe because it is 1 1/4 cups of milk, 1 1/4 cups of flour. So it's fairly easy to remember. And I would say that's mixed up good enough. There's a little bit of flour still there. So I'm going to let this hydrate for about 20 minutes. And in the meantime, we're going to put strawberries and whipped cream on top of ours. Look at these strawberries, you guys.
Jumbos.
Aren't they beautiful? We got them yesterday at Aldi. So I'm going to go ahead and slice those up while this is hydrating. I'll go ahead and get my pan all ready and warmed up. If you need to have your pan about 350 degrees, I found that if I cook this on medium to medium low, that's fine. And I'll show you how to, do your pan so you know it's hot. And anyway, I'll be back in about 20 minutes and we'll go ahead and get started cooking these.
Sounds good.
Well, it's been about 20 minutes. And over here I have our pancake batter that's been hydrating. And Richard asked me to tell you about hydration. I have found that with fresh milled flour, it really needs to hydrate or absorb the liquid that you have in it, whether you're making pancakes, biscuits, bread, or whatever. And that was a learning curve for me. The first time I made anything, it was biscuits. And as I was cutting out the biscuits, I noticed that the flour that I had just milled was absorbing that liquid as I was using it. And so what I do now when I do biscuits is I make them quite often the night before, the batter, and then I put it in the refrigerator. The next morning I just roll it out and do my biscuits, so it makes it much easier. But anyway, hydration is a key. So here's my pan. I've had this preheating now for a good 10 minutes, and I have it on medium low, number 2 on mine. Now how I test my pans to see if they're ready is I let the water, I just sprinkle a little water in it. If it dances and sizzles, I know it's ready for me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in my pan. And see how that's shimmering already?
Yes.
So you know this is going to be fine. I'm just using my pastry brush here to get this on here. You don't want too much oil, but it certainly helps.
How much do you think that was, Miss Clark?
Oh, maybe a teaspoon and a half.
Okay.
Okay, so let me put my top on before I have an accident. So the next thing I do is I use a scoop like this. You can use a gravy ladle if you want. This is a little bit bigger than that because this morning I'm going to make some larger ones. But hear how that sizzles?
Yes.
So this I'm only doing one at a time, but I'm guessing this will probably make 8 or 10. And like I said, quite often I do it when they're smaller. But how you're going to tell if this is done is see how it's already starting to form little bubbles?
Yep.
The edges are going to start to dry a little, and you're going to have a lot more bubbles. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'll time this just so you just know approximately how long it's going to take. Well, let's see how long it's been. It's been 4 minutes, maybe 3.5. Now look here, you guys, at how it's dried around the edges, and it has the bubbles. And as this was cooking at first, the bubbles really started to appear, and then it started to,
slow down
a little. But now if your pancake is not releasing like that, it's not ready to come up. Now I'm not an expert pancake flipper, so let's see how this goes. That's not bad, is it?
Looks good. Just don't do it 3 feet in the air.
Yeah. But isn't that a nice golden brown?
Yeah, looks good.
Yep. So this side won't take near as long, probably a minute, minute and a half. So anyway, I'm going to be back again and I'll show you what the other side looks like. Well, it's been about a minute and a half. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, look how beautiful that is. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one up. Next thing I'm going to do, there's some oil already in the pan. I'm just going to move over because you don't want these swimming in oil. There we go. I'm going to do another one. Now, if you had a bigger griddle, this you could do a lot more at a time. But here you go. Next one. So I'm going to continue with this, and we'll be back when we're doing the last one, and I'll tell you how long it took to do all of these.
See you later.
This recipe made 7 large pancakes, and then there was one that was about 3/4 this size. And they take about 4 to 5 minutes each to cook. So, of course, in my pan, even though it's a large pan, I would just cook one in there because otherwise they kind of get overcrowded. I didn't add any additional oil to the pan at all, but I did use my pastry brush to move that oil around with each one. But with that being said, my cast iron pan is very well seasoned. I've had that pan for probably about 30 years, and I use it almost every day. So I also want to tell you about the strawberries. I made a simple syrup to go with those, so it's equal parts of sugar and the water. And I use the same kind of sugar that I did inside the pancakes, for the batter. But well, now is the best time of all. It's time to eat. Look at this, you guys. These are so good. I have not tasted pancakes as good as these, except Viola's recipe for her buttermilk blueberry pancakes. They were exceptional too.
Those were good.
Yeah, and we'll put a link in the bottom of our video for her blueberry buttermilk pancakes. They are delicious. But and her channel is called Viola's Baked and Cooked Delights, and she's an excellent cook. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a bite of this. These are just so flavorful. Look how light that is too. Whoop. So light it won't even
Popped
stay
off
on
the
the
fork.
fork. Yeah. Let's get a little of the whipped cream. You guys, these are just exceptional. I'm going to be sharing more recipes as we go along with my channel using fresh milk flour. I wish I had done this years ago. It has really changed our lives, for cooking. I don't even buy bread anymore.
It's healthier.
Yeah, it's much healthier. I cook all my breads now. It was an excellent investment for us. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and let me know if you've ever tried fresh milk grains or if you've ever tried pancakes like this. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching and your time. And if you've enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that. We'll talk to you later. Bye.